So, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Do we have the clock running here? I think we got the clock running somewhere. Yeah. So we are live, Rucksack Revolution. Oh, there we go. All right, I see the clock. It's on the screen for me. This is the Rucksack Revolution live stream Sunday night. Kind of what would happen if Democracy Now! And the Paul Feinbaum show had a baby. This would more or less be it. And it's brought to you tonight by the fine makers of some CBD gummy bears that I was supposed to have 2 to go to sleep, and I got up this morning and had about 6 to wake up. Hey, Charlotte, what's up? If y'all want to, I'm having a couple now. Don't live stream your mouth full of gummy bears, especially CBD ones. Hey, so if you want to come up on the show, just, I don't know. Oh, man, let's put it on the banner like my Venmo and PayPal. Yeah, if you want to send me money, you can do that too. It all goes into the show. Well, I was going to do this road trip, and it turned out it didn't happen. No, they're not a gummy bear. They're Charlotte. They're I don't know. They look like a gummy cough drop. And the CBD supposed to, I don't know. It helped me go to sleep last night. I was supposed to take 2. I took like 8. I don't know. But my problem with gummy candies and gummy vitamins and CBD and other type cannabinoid products is that I eat them like gummy bears. So, like, if they tell me to take 2, like, if I'm supposed to take 2 gummy vitamins, I take like a month's supply of vitamin C by 10 a.m. because I just end up eating half the bottle of gummy vitamin C for breakfast. That's why I don't get that stuff. I'm addicted to gummy bears. So, yeah. We see here it says, I want to be a guest on the show. Visit patreon.com, Rucksack Rev, and you will see a post, and it's dated for tonight's show, and there's a link on it, and you just go and click on the link. And I'm probably an idiot trying to explain how it works. We got on a little late tonight because it took me 15 minutes to figure out how to work some stuff on here, but we're here now. And so yeah, if you want to talk about football, you want to talk about gummy, did I say gummy? Yeah, gummy. Yeah, gummy bears. Yeah, and actually they're spelled Gummi. You know the deal, Charlotte. I know. Ever since I grew up in Germany, right? Like, let me tell you. All right, I'm a U.S. kid growing up in Germany, right? I'm 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. Got us kids in housing, right? But right by the edge of housing, base housing. Well, not on a base, but the community housing for our area. And man, we get our weekly allowances. I remember like 7 years old, and we had a little like drugstore, little corner market, right? Kind of across. It's a big street by Argentinische Allee. It's a major street actually in Berlin. 2-3 lanes and a median and 2-3 lanes, and we would cross that thing. We were 7, man. I grew up in the city, man. I know how to do these things, man. But we would get our money together and we go over to that store, and like we would like have a serious like council meeting on what we were going to get, and we would just get a wad of different gummy worms, gummy bears, gummy cokes, gummy whatever. And then we'd all go back and like we'd eat them in like 10 minutes, and that was like our allowance for the week. I mean, it was like we were addicted. And yeah, it's gummy in Germany, and it's spelled Gummi, by the way. So these people tell me gummy, Gummy. No, it's a gummy bear, and it's spelled Gummi. And anyways, that might be semantics. But I just had a few more of those. I think I had like I don't know what's in this thing. Yeah, I mean like half of these, and like I should have had 4. I don't know, but anyways, yeah. So you can actually come on the show, man, and we'll talk about whatever. I got a guy, Warren Allen Tidwell. He'll probably be on here. I should send him an invite on my phone. Anyways, Warren, he's going to be on my podcast tomorrow night. We'll probably have it up Monday night or Tuesday, and he is the I'm going to get this wrong, but he's the state outreach director for Hometown Action. It's kind of a collective of groups throughout Alabama. He's in Auburn, but it's throughout Alabama, and they just do a lot of really good good things for community. And he's going to be on, and he's from Auburn. So like with him, man, he might want to talk about anything from healthcare for all to Black Lives Matter to what we were doing in Ocala yesterday, you name it, right? Or he might want to talk. Well, he is not going to want to talk about the Auburn game, but Mitch might call in and want to do it because Mitch is a Georgia fan. And if you're a Georgia fan, you probably want to talk all about the Auburn game. But if you're an Auburn fan, you probably would rather not think about it. The only thing worse could have happened is they could have been playing at home and got beat like that. That would have been worse. And anyways, so other than that, man, last week, I don't know. I was just more chatty. Maybe it's the CBD, huh? But yeah, I just wait and see if anyone comes on. If not, you just, hey, I want to tell you we're broadcasting on my Facebook page. We are broadcasting on the Rucksack Revolution group page. And we are broadcasting on my, not my page, but we set it up. But Rucksack Revolution channel, whatever, on YouTube. So if you look up Rucksack Revolution on YouTube, and you should watch it on there, and you should hit subscribe so that we get, subscribers on YouTube. And if you'd like to subscribe to the Patreon account, you can do that too. But right now, I'm just sitting here, man, feeling kind of dumb because I probably ate too much CBD candies. Yesterday we had a BLM march in Ocala. I filmed some footage. It wasn't, it's not big like in Ocala for it to happen anyhow. It's kind of a big deal, I guess. I don't know, but it was a good march, and we got some folks down from Gainesville and getting a little solidarity going on between communities, maybe you might say. And so it's a pretty good thing. And Doug Padgett had the Vote Common Good tour here, which I actually wasn't at it. I was going to be at it, but I wasn't. In fact, I was going to go on tour on the road trip, but I'm not. Too much wear and tear on the car. Snoopy can only take so much. But yeah, so I guess that was okay. There were some people at the square for that, and talks a lot about, I guess, Jesus isn't a Republican and all that kind of thing, which is true. Not a Democrat either, but I can tell you that some of the policies of the GOP, definitely, I don't think Jesus would be keen on. But they were talking about that kind of stuff. And then we marched down the square later on, 5 o'clock, for a little BLM action. And that's happened there before. And I think it's going to probably happen there again, right? And wow, what else happened this week? Found I'm on the Martin Luther King. Hey, what's up, B? Why don't you come in on the show, man? We need to schedule your podcast, man. Just give me anything but Wednesday night. Wednesday night, I do a live stream if I can get it together and actually have something more to say than right now. How about like Tuesday or Thursday would be good? Because I have a rugged job Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday of house sitting a couple of, like a 2-month-old puppy and a 4-month-old puppy. And the 2-month-old puppy is probably some really great pedigree. I don't know, but it looks like just like a little puppy. It looks like a little yellow puppy. And the one that's 4 months, I think, is if I remember right, like part husky and I don't know, part wolf. I don't know, something like he looks like a badass. That's what he looks like, but a gentle badass, right? And there's a cat also, which probably I won't even see because cats don't care, right? Puppies will be all over me though. And so, anyways, yeah, you can message me on that if you want, B, or whatever. But yeah, we'll have you on the podcast this week. Yeah, I'm just chilling tonight. Like I say, I had some CBD candies when I got up. I'm in my yoga pants. I'm in my hemp shirt. I'm in my Moab hat. So it's one of those kind of days. It was really nice. I've been pretty hectic the last couple of weeks. Get some organizing, just some other things done. And today I got up and I didn't have to do anything. And it's kind of rainy all day. I want to get out of the house, and so I said, I'm going down the Treasure Island Drum Circle, and it looked on the radar like it would clear out down there. But I saw a post from one of the guys that he's sort of one of the head guys of it, not in charge, but just one of the main drummers. And he said it was still a little drizzly, but they were drumming anyways. But I'm not driving down there, a couple hours for that. So I had this anyways. I forgot I have the live stream 6 to 8. So maybe we'll do it one time from the drum circle. Who knows? But yeah, so you got to give me a time, B. All right, B. I'm just gonna tell you then. I'm gonna give you a time. And so since you say anytime, how about we do how about we do Tuesday? It was rainy and gross out there today in Tampa. Yeah. How about, hey B, how about we do can we do 6 p.m. on Tuesday? Would that be cool? 6 p.m. on Tuesday. Man, I can't believe we put my Venmo and PayPal up there. That was for the road trip. I got to take that off. I mean, you want to send me something? That's cool. I'll go in the show. I want to get a better webcam. I'm not trying to look like, Anderson Cooper or something just because my name's Gene Anderson, even though I am We got the same kind of hair. Mine's just a lot longer and not cut nearly as well. But actually, I want to get a little better webcam, so get a little better quality. You can see my beer boot and hot brown mugs in the back, maybe a little better. All right, Tuesday at 6. Thanks, B. All right, B. Arthur shows me somebody is listening to this and commenting. So actually, the system works. And Charlotte. And yeah, so we now know Charlotte mentioned that I do pronounce Gummy bear correctly, and it is spelled Gummi. That's the actual German. It's a gummy bear, not a gummy bear. I finally gave up. People would say it's a gummy bear, dude, and I'm just like, I'm not even gonna, potato, but it is Gummy. So Charlotte pointed that out, that I do say that, and B is now gonna come on my podcast Tuesday, and so we should have that up. Usually it's within 24 hours, sometimes the same night. So maybe Wednesday. By the time I go and hang out with the puppies and the cat out in the country Friday, it'll be up. And so like I said, Monday night, Warren probably will not want to talk about the Auburn-Georgia game. And he probably, if he's watching this right now, wishes I wouldn't talk about it either. But we'll probably be talking about Hometown Action, the organization he stayed outreach director for. Kind of maybe I'd like to know more how it's organized. It sounds a little decentralized to me. It's not just like this blanket organization. That's right. See, and B comes back in. My husband's German grandmother says Gummy. That's right, Gummy. It is Gummy bear. This is, you want to make America great again? Teach people to say Gummy bear, not gummy, right? Okay. There we go. That's the way to make America great again. And a nationalized healthcare where people all have healthcare, and maybe a little Gummy bear incentive too. I don't know, just Gummy bears. I don't have any Gummy bears. I have CBD Gummy gumdrop little things. I don't know. They look like a gumdrop, but they're not quite as chewy. They have the consistency of the Gummy bear versus the gumdrop, which is more of a licorice type consistency as a rule. Twizzlers doesn't have real licorice consistency. It's a little softer, but real licorice, right? I had some yesterday. I got to tell you about my diet yesterday. Oh man, dude, man, I got a blood stain. I scraped my hand and I got a little blood stain on my yoga pants. That sucks. I don't want to. These are my dress pants too, so that sucks. Anyways, so yesterday I had a really good training diet for the BLM march last night. I had breakfast about 3:00. It was 3 giant scoops of Rocky Road, chocolate raspberry truffle, and black cherry ice cream with chocolate sauce, pineapple sauce, colored little candy, the little tube looking things, little, I don't know what they are, and some crunched up Reese's peanut butter cup, and whipped cream and a cherry on top. And that was breakfast at 3 while I watched the Gator game, which had a better outcome for the Gators than the Auburn-Georgia game had for Auburn. And then let's see. And 2 slices of pizza with that. And then I went and marched. And when I came home, I basically ate cheese for dinner when I got home, and some peanut butter. And I got a big thing of pre-cooked macaroni and cheese at Publix, and then just some cheese. So I just had cheese for dinner. But today I got up and I had a CBD Gummy things. And man, I can't believe I scratched my hand. And man, I need something. I don't want to use my pants. You're getting it raw and real here. This is not Howard Stern. This is not I don't know. It's definitely not Rush Limbaugh. But yeah, I'm a real pro. I'm sitting there bleeding to death all over my yoga pants, telling you about it, looking for some kind of, here we go. Here's something. Finding something so I don't bleed all over myself. And bad enough, I probably just messed up my yoga pants. These are my dress pants too, right? This is my dress shirt, This is my dress baseball cap. Anyway, so yeah. Hey, what's up? It's the professor, Dr. Landau. Gene, I'm not seeing you a bit. I'm happy to see you as well. Cheers, my brother. Hey, I want you on my podcast, bro. I will get in contact with you. This guy I'm talking with on the chat line right now, he is like an archaeologist kind of thing, right? And so it's very interesting. And he has a great view on life and loaned me a couple good books. I still have your coat. And Charlotte right now says she's wearing her dress flip-flops. If you're from Florida, you know this. I only have 1 pair of flip-flops now, but I'm going to invest in a pair of Earth Runners, which are pretty close. But yeah, you got to have like your everyday flip-flops and then your dress flip-flops. And I did have that until a few months ago when I had a flip-flop blowout. And I guess my my Chacos sometimes I substitute for my dress flip flops occasionally, but I would like to get some Earth Runners. If you don't know what they are, look them up. Earth Runners. They are not, but nobody sponsors me like that. Come on, Hometown Action, right? A bunch of progressives in Auburn, Alabama, and elsewhere in Alabama. They sponsor me, and Scarlet Co for Art, who is a woman who, well, guess what? She does art. That's what she does. It's called Scarlet Co for Art. She don't fix cars. She does art. And she's Scarlet Cofer, Cofer, and scarletcoferart.com. And you can also look her up on Redbubble. And she's been on Etsy. I don't think she's on Etsy anymore. Yes, he is a classical archaeologist versus the new wave archaeologists, which are just looking up like remnants of old, like, I don't know, stuff Blondie wore or some in CBGBs back in like, the late 70s, early 80s, I guess. But he's a classical archaeologist versus freestyle archaeologist. Like in college wrestling, there's like Greco-Roman classical style, and then there's freestyle wrestling, which I have no idea. I really don't know the difference. I'm an SEC guy, not Big Ten, so I don't know nothing about it. But I do know that, yeah, he's not a freestyle archaeologist. Hey, Mikey, hey, what's up, man? Somebody show me that link that we devised with Patreon with this banner works, because I'm just talking now, man. I think those CBD candies are hitting. But yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, the rain. I'm happy that the rain proof worked well. Yes. I didn't actually take it on the Appalachians, bro. It was a little too small for me. So I've got it up in my closet. I just want to get it back to you. But I just love the fact that you loaned it to me, because I know that's like your archaeologist jacket or something, yeah. And we have Mikey on here. Mikey, I want you to know that I shared Giliberto's Taqueria, Mexican restaurant in Moab, Utah, with my buddy Jet, who I did the interview with on the road trip in Memphis, who he's currently, I think, he's in Colorado right now, I think at Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. I didn't get to that one, but I think he posted some pictures from there today. Was it what, Jazz? Was what? The jacket? Yeah, just slightly small. I mean, no, it like fit, but it fit a little tight where I was afraid, like, if I say I move my arm quickly or something, I would rip the seam, maybe like the Hulk. Not that I am the Hulk, but it was just that little bit of tight, And so I was really worried. I didn't want to mess your jacket up, because if it's just a little tight for backpacking, I was afraid I might, tear a seam or do something like that. But yeah, we'll get together. I definitely. Yeah. The jacket. I'm talking about the jacket. I went on a hiking trip last year. A year ago, I think it was in May, with a friend of mine. He invited me on this trip, and I feel awful because it was supposed to be a 1 week trip with a destination in mind on the AT. And I think I got sciatica, which really blows me away. Several people told me what actually had happened is I got sciatica. I thought it was from a fall I took, but that didn't make sense in the way I was hurt and how it happened. But I guess sciatica makes sense. I've never had that before, but for those of you who get it a lot, it sucks. It took me 2 weeks to walk it off when I got home, but we had to shorten the trip, and it was his trip, and I felt awful because we're only like maybe halfway into it, really getting into the good part, actually, going up into Smoky National Park. And I'm trying to walk. I could hardly walk. And he's like, dude, you can't go like that, man. So he got his trip cut short. And so what is the Rucksack Revolution? The professor asks. And the Rucksack Revolution is my Patreon site, which involves a podcast, which involves a documentary episodes of my recent Elvisburger road trip. Right now, the latest episode, I was in Stanfield and Casa Grande, Arizona, and Truth and Consequences, New Mexico. And on the trip, we're about maybe halfway into the trip, something like that, a little over halfway. And also my blog posts, which come out a few times a week. This last week was a little less because I was really, really busy with three projects actually, to varying degrees. And I just kind of had the gym went on hold, everything went on hold. But Rucksack Revolution, the phrase comes from the book The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. And one of the main characters in a guy by the name of Jaffrey Ryder, who in real life is the Western Zen poet Gary Snyder, has a quote in the book, and he says something like, I'm going to do this off the top of my head. I see one day in the future a great rucksack revolution, young people strapping on, rucksacks and going to the mountains like playful Zen lunatics, and making young girls laugh and old men smile and kids play and I don't know, dogs bark and something like that. And I'm a big Jack Kerouac fan. And we can talk about that another time. But I've always liked the phrase Rucksack Revolution, and it became the name of a blog that I started in 2010 and really started doing something with in 2011 through 12, and then I just let it rot. And so then I ended up doing this road trip, and my buddy Mitch and I decided to do something to keep it going. So this is it. And so anyways, that's you can look on the bottom. This banner goes by. It says something about patreon.com/rucksackrev. You can get on there and you'll find a link. There's actually a link. You'll see the date on it. It's for tonight's show. You can hit that link and you can come on with me, and then people can look at your face along with mine. Mikey was on last week. You'd think he'd be on here now talking about Clemson's big win, but isn't every week a big week for Clemson in the Atlantic, ACC? I mean, what does that say about Clemson? What does it say about the ACC? That's what I want to know. But anyways, that's basically it, man. So basically, Professor, think of it as Democracy Now! And the Paul Feinbaum show had a baby, because Sunday nights, I was told there would be like SEC football talk. So there's that. But also, like I say, talking about, we can get discussion about, is Trump really sick or not? I think he really is. I think it's legit. But like I say, man, lies so much, man. How you gonna really know? We talk about that, we talk about whatever you want. I don't care. We talk about Jack Kerouac. We could talk about Western Zen poetry. I can tell you a little bit about some of the podcast guests I've had on lately, and some of the ones that are coming up. But anyways, what we have done so far tonight in the last 21 minutes and 22 minutes now is other than me coming on late because I was kind of boneheaded about figuring out how to do it. But we have determined that one thing the United States does wrong, and probably the whole English-speaking world, is it's not gummy bear, Gummy, it's Gummy Bear or Gummi Baren. If you really want to know, it's Baren, and I think there's an umlaut over the A, so it's Gummi Baren. Gummi Baren is Gummy Bear in German, so it's Gummi, not gummy. And so we had B. Arthur's, I think, great-grandmother has verified this, or she has verified it in her forebear's native tongue. And also Charlotte has pointed out, and she knows, like, she's been to Germany. Yeah, it's Gummi. So, and the other thing is that I'm going to be able to get the jacket back to Professor Landau, the classical archaeologist. And Mikey Allday said, what about Clemson? Mikey, come on the show, man. Let's talk some football, bro. Let me taunt you. Clemson needs to come join the SEC. Like, we'll trade you. I would personally trade you Texas A&M for, we'll trade you Missouri, because Missouri's in the East, but really it's in the West, and I don't know what the heck it's doing in the SEC anyways. And Clemson's in South Carolina and says it's a good team. So I say we should get rid of Missouri in the SEC East and bring in Clemson. And come on up on the show, man. Get up on there. Let me know this link is working. Somebody, Mitch is probably feeding the kids right now. So, anyways, I got my business card here. I actually, it has my phone number on it. Here, I'll just cover that up because I don't want everybody calling me all the time. But how many people, how many Presbyterian type ministers, got something like this? This is actually the I think the design from the company was called Yoga Teacher or something. And on the back, I have my favorite. Here we go. Ooh, it's like a mirror. There we go. Am I right? Yeah. Since my house burned down, I have a much better view of the rising moon. How many Presbyterian type ministers? I say Presbyterian type because I was ordained PCUSA, and then basically, like, I resigned my church and I came back to my home presbytery to do pulpit supply, and they just weren't happy with me. And so I sort of ended up, I was gigging around in Tampa Bay area doing pulpit supplies, word of mouth, and it was working really good. Book of Orders says you don't have to be on pulpit supply list to do pulpit supply. Pastor can pick Mickey Mouse if they want. I mean, but the whatever executive presbyter or whatever came in, she jumped me, man. She was like, the pulpit spot. And it's really funny. I got a friend, he owns a place here in Ocala, and a guy named George. And George is quite the guy. And he, I told him what happened. I was actually cooking then, right, while I was doing Pulpit Supply. So I was like tent making, as they call it. And I had just pulled something like an 11-hour shift in a kitchen and was driving back across town, across St. Pete, getting home. And I'm living kind of a dumpy hotel place. And that's all cool, you know, but it's like I'm driving home and boom, I get a phone call. And she's like, by what authority did you preach at these places? And I was trying to be professional, which, you know, for me is probably impossible. And but I did my best. I was really trying to reason with her and whatever, you know, and then I think what happened is I dropped the call. I think I hit a button, but I'm seriously by mistake because I was trying to talk and drive on the interstate or something. And anyway, she called back. Then she was really mad. But what George said to me, he said, I'm getting soft because he says the Gene I used to know would have just said the Lord and hung up. He said, you know, who authorized you to preach at these churches? The Lord, click. You know, and if I could do it again, I would, and I probably would have been a safer driver. And anyway, so hey, man, it's also not chomping at the bit. The phrase is champing at the bit. Think where a bit goes into the horse's mouth. I don't know, it goes in his mouth. Are there parts to a horse's mouth? I guess there are. If it is chomping on it, something is seriously wrong with the fitting. There we go. So we now know goomy instead of gummy tonight. We now know it's champing at the bit. I did not know that. Thank you. I got the two smartest people in the world on here, you know, because we got the professor, as I like to call him. He's a professor at our local. Jas is a professor at our local community college, and seriously, man, he's a classical archaeologist, not freestyle. He's a really smart dude, like about a lot of stuff. He's a great guy to hang out with. We've hung out. We've had a beer or two together. I think maybe some kava once. I can't remember. And then Mikey knows everything. Mikey found me like a $7.50 chicken and rice burrito in Moab. And that, you know, and he wasn't even there. You know what I mean? And then I passed that on to my buddy Jet, who you're going to see on the podcast here in a couple of weeks. Jet's out, I think, right now in Black Canyon, the Gunnison, Colorado. He's had a photo from him. He's been on a road trip. He's kind of like picking up where I left off. Not to say it was my thing. It's not. It's his thing. But I mean, like I was driving around and I went to Arches National Park, you know, in Grand Teton and Yellowstone and whatever, Redwoods and all that. He went to Zion. He went to Canyonlands. He could tell you, I think of Bryce Canyon. He went to the Grand Canyon. Now he's at Canyon of the Gunnison in Colorado. And he has been writing some amazing things. And more so his photography. He's just driving around his little, you know, Subaru doing his thing. His photography has been incredible. I have really been looking forward to his photos. And, you know, he's out there somewhere maybe listening to this. I have no idea. I don't know if any of us listen to this. We have a few people because they've been commenting. Nobody's coming on the show though. I guess my big ugly face looks good enough on its own, right? But yeah, by what authority, man? Yeah, I should have just said the Lord. I could have said Satan. That would have really upset her, right? But I said the Lord. Hallelujah. The Lord authorized it. And yeah. And anyway, so yeah. I don't watch pro football, so I did kind of hazily watch the Cowboys Browns today, and the Browns won in Cowboy Stadium, so I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty much. So yeah, Gummy Bears are not gummy; they're goomy. Horse champs at the bit rather than chomps on the bit. Mikey is upset that I might taunt him about Clemson football a little bit, but he hasn't come on the show. Mitch said he was gonna, but I'm guessing I think maybe it's bath time for the kids. I don't know. He needs to. He hasn't told me the link doesn't work, so I guess it works. If it doesn't work, I'm just, you know, chitting in the breeze. I got no idea, man. But anyway, so yeah, the idea of this was just to do a live stream, put it out there for a couple hours twice a week, and kind of introduce you to what's going on with the Patreon site. I can tell you there's a lot more foolishness on here than on the Patreon site. There's some of that too. Podcasts are about an hour. Usually they're about something serious. I have a lot of poets on, and I've been actually publishing some new poetry. I've written 4 pieces. I wrote in 4 pieces. I've written 4 pieces. Actually 3 are one thing. It's kind of a there and back, the heroic quest. I think it's called Departure. The second one is, I I don't remember. Oh, Antipode, and the third one is called The Return. And then I got one I just wrote and did called Permaculture, and actually had a more obscene name, which the F-bomb does get dropped occasionally on the podcast, but I'm not going to do it now. Because I don't know, Mitch could be listening. And he could have his 4-year-old with him. He has to always remind me when she's. I'm kind of like their Uncle Buck, so it's pancakes and cuss words. But yeah. So geez, nobody's coming on. Oh my gosh, I'm dying up here, man. It's like I got over an hour. Play some music, but Facebook would like just blank all that out, right? Trump sick or not sick? I don't know. I think I'll have some more CBD candies. Let me see. I could start reading you passages out of the Gita. I got the Bhagavad Gita right here, the Deepak Chopra version. Yeah, really, seriously. And I know it's a gift from a friend of mine, Gita Minocha, who we did a podcast with recently. And oh wow, I got Donna Kane's business card in here too, man. From Metropolitan Community Church of Ocala. This one goes back, when she was congregational care coordinator there. Donna's all right. Oh, I forgot about where. Well, you know what? Maybe we will. This is where it came out. Let's see. I'm not going to pronounce these names well at all. I got to tell you, it's like I had an Old Testament professor in seminary. When I was in New York, you took like 2 semesters of Old Testament, basically. The first semester was taught by a Jewish professor. So it really was Hebrew Bible, right? Old Testament, I'm sorry. I do agree with that. You can call it politically correct or whatever you want, but Old Testament sounds, I don't know. Old Testament, New Testament, I do prefer to maybe say, Hebrew scriptures or something, First Testament. I don't know. But anyways, the first 39 books in the 66 book Protestant Bible. Anyway, so the first semester is taught by like a Jewish professor or a rabbi. The second semester is taught by a Christian professor. Not that it's like, you're learning super, super markedly different, but it gives you perspective and it gives you depth, right? In the meantime, you're also probably learning Hebrew. So all this being said, there's some hard names to pronounce, especially in the Old Testament and the Bible, right? I mean, there's some tough ones. And people sometimes have trouble with that. Maybe you have a parishioner, they're going to read scripture in the church service, right? They're like, oh, how do I say this name? Or something. And what Dr. Cooper, who I might add, was in Shana Na at one time. He was my Old Testament professor there. And one day he told us, like, when you come to a list of really hard names like that you got to read like that, just call him Bob, Joe, whatever, is what he used to say, Sally, Sue. And he actually did it. So it's like some guys like named, I don't know. It's like, Mephibosheth, right? Okay. Yeah, he's actually an important character in the Old Testament, but something like that. He's like, and so Mephibosheth was sitting at the table with the king, and he's like, so Bob passed the butter to Dave, or something like that. But this is chapter 1, Arjun's sadness. No, I mean, I'm not going to do that. That would be too much. I can tell you about the night I got a buzz and I broadcast orally over a karaoke machine over a quiet downtown Ocala. This is back in the back in the mid 90s. I broadcast the entire book Coney Island of the Mind by Lawrence Ferlinghetti to the square in downtown Ocala one night with a speaker. You could hear it. You could actually hear it like a couple blocks away, from what I understand. So Ocala was subjected to the wit, wile, and verse of Lawrence Ferlinghetti, and became San Francisco for maybe 2 hours. And and the professor asks here, trying to sign up on Patreon, sign up or just get to the link, B. I mean, if you're like doing the subscription, that's cool. If you just want to get on the show, you don't have, it's cool you're getting a subscription because it's good material. But I'm just saying you don't have to do that. You shouldn't have to do that. I may have screwed up and nobody can get on the show tonight. And then you're just stuck with me looking stupid. But that's okay. No, it's Rucksack Rev. One word, Professor. Rucksack Rev. It's on here. Patreon.com, Rucksack Rev. I feel like I'm in the first Zoom meeting ever in history. Is the health of a political leader existentially relevant for our overall efforts for collective well-being? The professor asks. And that's a good question. My answer is no. No, it's not. Especially if our system is supposed to work the way it does. Technically speaking, it's not. However, if Trump were to say, pass on from COVID, at least at this point in time, Pence would become president. And if you wanted the truth, I'm more worried about that than anything, man, because Pence probably would become the Republican candidate and probably win. I don't mean to belittle him or anything, but he would win on the sympathy vote because, hey, when the president dies, there would be a sympathy vote. I guarantee it. And Pence as president almost scares me as much as Trump. I'm not sure, maybe more. I have no idea. B. Arthur just play. Hey, wow, B just came on to. She's gonna be catching all the Rucksack Revolution episodes, and so yeah, B, man, click on and come on the show, man. It should be on there. There should be a link that says something like a live stream link or live stream. I don't know what it says. Let me see. Let me go to my Patreon here and I'll look. It says a live stream link for Sunday 10/4/2020. I probably say live stream link be on the show. So here, I'm going to do that. I think I can edit it here. Live stream link to be on the show. To be on the show for Sunday 10/4/2020. All right, that should do the trick. I know. I bet now I have people just like the site's going to crash, right? It's taking forever. I don't know what's going on. It's taking forever. I'm wondering if Patreon's slow tonight. Come on, man. Dude. Anyways, hopefully it'll one day do that. I don't know what's going on here. But we've had really weird internet here at the house for a few days. The routers crashed once. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But where were we at here? Yeah, and the professor. I'm talking with the professor. You can also chat in comments. If you go to my Facebook page, like mine, and maybe even the one for the Facebook group, and maybe on YouTube for that matter, you can type in the comments, and I guess that's how they come up here on. Yes, they do. I see that. Yes, some just yes. I think it shows. Yeah, so you can do it off the Facebook group comment, just like you were commenting on the post, or on my Facebook page and comment on the post, or on the YouTube page. I guess you can comment on the post, and it comes up on here. And so the professor, and I mean that as a term of endearment, by the way. That's not think of the professor. If y'all remember and one basketball, remember the professor, the one dude that could dribble really well? Yeah. So it was like that was a term of endearment. So yeah, he says, I'm not a fan of Pence. His views on personal freedom do not agree with mine. I would agree with that, I would definitely agree with that. I'm not a fan of I may be now I gotta explain myself. I am an ordained Presbyterian, but I'm not actively on the rolls, right? I'm a rogue minister, outlaw preacher. I did not come up with the phrase outlaw preacher. There's a story behind that. And I did do some interviews with some old outlaw preachers. Not that they're old in years necessarily, but I mean, they were outlaw preachers at one time. It's sort of thing to all this. But anyways, I had some interviews with some of them, spent the night with some of them on my road trip, get a little, get a sofa to sleep on or something. So I didn't invent that term, but yeah, outlaw preacher. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Christian dominionism, Seven Mountains theory, all that kind of stuff. If you want to read a really good book that kind of gets into that, you might want to check out Jeff Charlotte, his book, The Family. That's a really good read. It gets into the whole kind of how fundamentalism, conservative evangelicalism has worked its way into policy-making decisions and whatnot in the branches of government in Washington, D.C. And this book came out a few years ago. I mean, it's been out, I don't know, maybe 10 years now, right? But so it's not about the Trump administration, but the Trump administration even more so. People like Mike Pompeo, blatantly, I don't know if the Secretary of State should dictate foreign policy based on the rapture coming soon or something like that. I'm just kind of not there. I'll be blunt. When I was like 16 in a fundamentalist church, I probably would have thought it was great. Back then I was a fundamentalist. I was conservative, evangelical, geeky kid. And my first road trip I ever took on my own that kind of led to this big one I just did was actually a road trip for about a week. And I went to the Washington for Jesus rally in Washington, which was sponsored by like the 700 Club and Pat Robertson and stuff. Yeah, I actually was at that. And I actually had a Jesus First pin. I was a member of the Moral Majority back then. And I'm not now. I didn't have hair like this. I don't know if the hair caused me to change my theology or what, or I don't know. I'm just pattering on. But yeah, Christian dominionism, this idea that, to be a Christian nation, we've just got to sort of take over it's a seven mountain theory. It's something about, I think, business, education, school boards, the halls of government, state, local, federal, and I don't know, the national park system. I don't remember the other one now. State judiciaries, maybe. I have no idea. But it's to basically coerce America into being a, quote, Christian nation. So, yeah, Mike Pence is kind of, yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah, Rucksack Rev. One we got. It's coming up under the screen. There you go. See it. Well, no, that's the pay stuff. Yeah, I need to get that off there for right now. That gives a bad impression. No, patreon.com, Rucksack Rev. It's right there. That's the actual the link. Patreon.com, Rucksack Rev. I'm sorry I misled you on that. I apologize. And so wow, man, I guess we're halfway through. Well, it's supposed to be 2 hours, but I started late. Oh Lord. Yeah, even Mikey didn't come on the show to talk smack at me about how good Clemson is. And Warren was talking about coming on, but I haven't seen him. Mitch was I haven't seen him. So I guess I swear to you, I will start reading the Bhagavad Gita. I'll do it in monotone too. I've also got 2 of my books of poetry here. I could just read poetry at you. I can do that. I can eat more CBD gummy bears. By whose authority to change your feelings? I'm being moderately facetious and having fun. You know me well enough to know my meaning, but I wonder your progression ethically and or spiritually. Oh my God. The professor wants to hear my spiritual biography. I could do that. And somebody would probably get on just not seeing the link. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Are you kidding? No, it should be. No, I'm not ragging at you, I'm just, are you kidding? We just went through a whole hassle trying to get this straight. And that's why the show started 15 minutes late. So yeah, I'm looking here on my Patreon on my phone. That's 44 minutes ago. It says live stream link to be on the show under published posts, and you click on that, and there's and it looks like this. Well, that's a lot of glare. It looks like this. And you click on that where it says StreamYard, browser-based live studio for professionals. And it should, and you go through a couple steps, couple of things they do, and then it'll pop up here, and I'll let you on the show. This is like complicated. I'll just give you my phone number from now on. Y'all can just call me. I don't know. We tried last week one way. We're trying it this week, and I don't know. We got to figure this out because I don't even want to watch myself for 2 hours talk. I mean, it's great the chat room, but it would be great to have someone actually on the show. I had a couple people on, we get up to 3 people on here at one time. And I had a couple people on. Mikey was one of them last Sunday. Wednesday night didn't have one. I was so busy with the stuff I was having to do this week for some projects. I actually forgot. I almost forgot about my Zoom meeting. I'm on the Martin Luther King Commission for the celebration, events in January here with the city. It's not a city thing, but it's in the city. But the commission, we had a Zoom meeting, and I almost forgot about it. Like 5 minutes before the meeting, I remembered. So he says, yeah, email it to you. Yeah, the problem is okay, we'll try it here. Let me see. Oh man, this is do I have your email? This is not how this was planned to work at all. I'm texting it to you, but okay. All right, hang on. Crap. Mitch. I don't know what to do. Next week, I don't know. Hang on, everybody just stop. Nobody's listening to me anyways, probably outside of 3 people. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to get this sent to the professor so I can get him on here. We're going to figure out what the hell is going on with Patreon and this link. And this is really unprofessional. And I like being slightly unprofessional, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't want to look like CNN, but I would like to be a little better than this. So sorry, guys, ladies, everybody. Man, this sucks. Nice as he needs to head out anyways. Yeah, I'm feeling really 20th century right now about how this is operating. All I know is last week it worked, and this week everybody's having hassles. So I don't know. I thought I got set up early enough, but I had something I had to do, and I still was like, I don't know, 20 minutes before time, and it took 35 minutes, and we still apparently have it right. I'm going to get Mitch to get on this show. I'm just going to text him and say, show me that somebody can get on this show, because right now I'm just frustrated and not even sure if anything's working correctly. So Mitch, come on the show, because Mitch is like the producer of all this, and he's actually smart. So he knows what's going on. I apparently do not. My whole week, I don't want to get everything's backwards here. I don't want to get into it. I just basically I learned this week. I did an awful lot of hard work that ended up like I probably could have worked like 10% as hard, made it to the gym, and everything would have been just fine, And I just like went hell's bells on 3 different projects at once. One, I found out there was a complete miscommunication on what I was supposed to be doing anyways, which caused me to be up Friday night personally apologizing to a ton of people, and into yesterday morning, which is why I was not at the Vote Common Good rally, because I just felt so stupid I didn't want to show my face. And then a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit with the march last night, just kind of getting some people in connection with some other people is all. And then here comes Mitch. Mitch, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I got you, dude.
How did you use the link on Patreon?
I did, but I also noticed something, and I wasn't aware of it before. But if you go to Patreon for the first time, it makes you create an account, like you got to log into something. So maybe.
Oh God. Go ahead.
But I sent a message to your friend B, who was in the comments section on YouTube.
Correct. Yeah, and she's her device. She's coming on right now. It looks like.
There she is. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Well, we finally have 3 people on. That's cool. Hey, B, meet Mitch. This is the guy, is the smart one. And Mitch, this is B, and she's going to be on the podcast this week.
Sweet. Hi, B. I think she might be frozen.
Device, is she frozen? What's going on? Now we got Warren coming on, but now I don't have room for, okay, wait a minute. Oh, Lord, now everybody wants on. Oh, God.
Hey, you asked for it, Gene.
So Charlie Tango Foxtrot is the theme tonight. Okay. Hey, B, can you hear me?
I'm going to peace out then if you got people coming on. All right.
Okay. All right. I'll get Warren on here and we'll see what's going on with B. Oh, I got 4 people on. Oh, wait a minute. Can I have, I can have up to 6 people, can't I?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, because we're paying for it now. That's right.
Crazy. That's crazy. Hey, Warren, what's up, buddy?
Oh, man. Recovering from that game.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, you two might as well talk amongst yourselves.
No, I don't think there's anything left to be said.
No, it was quite clear.
Right. I said what I needed to say one time.
That's right.
Hey, I'm just getting out of here. I'll check back in later.
Okay, buddy.
All right. See you, Warren. See you, Gene.
Hey, later on, man. All right. So now he's gonna. All right. Now we got. All right, B. Can you hear me? You froze up again. Maybe that's me. I don't know. I'm running on such little bandwidth now because I think
it's frozen on my end.
On her end.
It's frozen on my end. I mean, on her end because it's frozen too.
Okay, wait a minute. Now here we go. I'm seeing her. Can you hear me, B?
Technical difficulties, getting all the bugs worked out.
All right. Yeah. Hey, man. So you got any comments? You don't want to talk about the Auburn game, do you?
Oh,
I saw some of it.
No, I'll talk about it. This whole year feels like a wash. I'm a Premier League soccer fan too, and I just don't see how the leagues are going to be able to finish. And it just feels like going through the motions. So it really that whole banter I usually have with friends and all of that is not happening this year, just because it's it's in a pandemic, and it's just like I said, it just doesn't feel like a real season.
Yeah, and we got now B's like going slow motion. Let's say like B looks like she's in an Apollo 14 video from like 1971 or something. She can hear that too. I can tell by the way she just smiles. Yeah, it's like we're in the moon. That's okay. I just want to say hey to Bobby Elder. He's a Army buddy of mine. He's out in Lacey, Wisconsin. Good God, Washington. And I said, Brad Quaisnock, brother, we served together in the Army. And hey, Bobby, what's up? And we have up to 6 people on here now. I don't know how that works. I just know it works. In fact, let me see. Let me try something here. Now we get the nice little like boxes. What happens if I do this? Oh, I don't want you all like tiny. All right, there we go. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll get 4 people on here. So what are you gonna talk about, B? Like I have both you two are my podcast guests this week. One is on tomorrow night and B is on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, earlier you were talking about like, is Trump actually sick?
Right.
And I was just gonna chime in and be like, oh no, I think he's sicker than they're letting, like much sicker than they're letting on. They're saying that he's got mild symptoms, but they've only taken him to Walter Reed preemptively. Honestly, I think. But and then they reported today that he's on oxygen, but should be out of the hospital by Monday.
Right.
I think he is much sicker than they're letting him.
He made that little statement without his tie on and everything, and his hair looked like he didn't spend $70,000 on it. That's for sure. I mean, he was able to do that, but he looked like he was hungover as hell. That's what he looked like. You know, he looked like he wasn't on no Adderall.
Right. I mean? Like he was going through withdrawals from his Adderall.
Which
so
is reasonable. I mean, recovering from the flu or anything like that, you're gonna look hungover, but I genuinely think he's way sicker than they're letting on.
Do you think he was like hopped up on Adderall at the debate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
God, yes. Yeah. Give him a pillowcase and send him on stage.
You're a little choppy when you're talking. Are you like? Can you get closer to your mic, or because you look like you're sitting across the room? I don't know. I'm just like trying to figure out because you're kind of choppy on the mic.
Nope, it's on my lap. Better.
It is. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah. It'll work. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Because you kind of go from like we can hear you to Charlie Brown's Pizza.
No, I was just saying though, Oh no. Okay. Hope it's better. Yeah, I have my laptop on my lap.
Okay.
No, they definitely gave him a pillowcase full of Coke before he went on for that debate. Because that was a performance.
I watched the Saturday Night Live cold open today on YouTube, and I'm not sure like which one was crazier. That would be the hard thing about trying to do that debate on Saturday Night Live is it was already so messed up that it's like, how are you going to mess it up and make it funny? Because, you know.
Right. How do you lift it into the absurd for parody?
Have you seen how the LGBTQ community has embraced the attack against the Proud Boys in the last couple of days?
The hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag Proud Boys. I got a couple I know in Orlando, and they've got their photo up there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's adorable. Let's make it wholesome because I'm not going to drop an F-bomb, but disregard the Proud Boys as they are right now.
You can drop an F-bomb on Tuesday night. There's kind of you get one complimentary F-bomb.
Okay, I will drop many.
All right, that's cool. I admit
because I'll tell you right now, I cuss like a sailor.
Yeah, well, when you come onto my Patreon site, it's got one of those like, are you at least 18? And because it's like, cuss words do get used.
It does.
Warren doesn't look like he cusses. He doesn't look like a cusser.
Oh,
he
my
does.
goodness.
He does cuss.
Could not be more wrong, Gene. I've got a little
I know.
jumping up and down in my head right now. Don't say the F word. Don't say the F word. Don't say the F word.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when we get banned by the FCC on here or not, man. I'm just always I forget. Like Mitchell had his kids. We'll be on the phone, and I'll just go seriously Uncle Buck about something, and he'll be like, "Yeah, Josie's gonna have some questions about some words you just used." So I try to remember now.
I used to take
what I had to do for my kid was I had to tell her when you're old, those words mean, and how people you can use them as much as you want to. And now she's 10 and she doesn't cuss, so I'm like, I did it right.
See, my kid, she cussed, but it was like her favorite thing was like she would we'd drive around. I had a 67 Beetle, and she called it the Beetle Bug. And we drive around listening to music. Mitch is coming back on now.
Hey, man.
Mitch. Hey, and so we drive around, and like she knew if it was classical, I'd say, "What's that?" She'd say Beethoven. She's like 3, right? She knew Pink Floyd. She knew Beethoven. She knew Tom Petty. And so she would be riding, or like we ride in the car. Me and my ex, man, we'd be riding. She's in the back seat in her little seat, right? And so she'd start singing Tom Petty when the song would come on, going, "Oh my, oh hell yeah, come on, put on your party," because she could get away with saying hell. She said, "I'm just singing Tom Petty, Dad." And then one time, like I'd say shit, like someone cut us off, I'd be like, "Shit."
Yep.
She'd be in the back going like, "Daddy, don't say shit. Shit is a bad word, Daddy. You should not." Oh, see what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm talking about, man. Hey, what's up?
Sunday is the Lord's Day, Gene.
Well, we didn't drop the F-bomb, man. How about what my daughter used to do to correct me on cussing? Because she could say it 25 times, man, in like 3 sentences about why I shouldn't say poop.
Hey, actually, I came here because Heather pointed something out to me. She said, she said, "Were you aware?" Wait, how
no, whatever it is, I was not aware. I promise you that.
Did you hear that?
I've been hearing something about like did he know when he did the debate he had it?
He when he was on Hannity on Thursday, he was aware of his diagnosis.
But he was he saying then he felt great and whatever and blah blah blah?
I think so, yeah.
And he was on the show.
And he did the show. I mean, he was
because I remember seeing a clip about it on like maybe reliable sources this morning or something. I don't remember. I watched very little Fox. I mean, like
he knew full well that he was sick.
Yeah, well, Fox doesn't. They don't. It's like I was watching Fox the other day. I wanted to see. I was there. All the tax stuff came out, and I wanted to see what they were talking about. And they were interviewing the guy who's going to make corned beef sandwiches for the debate participants. And I was like, all right, okay, sure. Like the tax story came out. Let's talk about corned beef sandwiches. Hey, Josie, what's up? I promise I'm not going to use any words that'll make you ask questions of your dad.
She doesn't ask questions because her mother has already educated her on a lot of words.
And I'm in trouble with Heather?
Actually,
We're both in trouble with Mitch.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Because I'm more scared of you than I am of Mitch, to be perfectly honest.
And that's fair. And that's.
I respect Mitch, but I revere you. Like the fear of Heather is the beginning of wisdom.
It's like you may be Gandalf, but she's a Balrog.
Yeah, something like that. There you go.
Oh man, I think that this guy needs a diaper. Yup.
Fun.
Okay.
What you're looking at right here, this is a family. This is just a typical family in Pennsylvania. These are the swing voters, right? Well, they know who they're voting for, but I'm just saying, you want to know what this is it. This is America right here. The whole election is this living room. It's somewhere in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania.
Hey,
Yeah.
I gotta go to the diaper. Goodbye, everyone.
All right, goodbye. All right, we're figuring this out now.
Bye.
Okay.
Y'all already talked about Trump's joyride today?
No, what was that?
He had Secret Service members drive him by the crowd outside so he could wave. Now they're in the vehicle with him, and he's wearing a mask. And the attending physician at Walter Reed tweeted that it was ridiculous theater, that those people will have to be quarantined for 14 days, could get sick.
The people in the limo with him.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Right. And people were talking about how how strong he was online, and that was amazing that he did that. But then they just took him right back in the hospital. They thought he was going back to the White House.
Yeah, that's like when he was at the desk and he kind of said, "Yeah, I'm okay. I can't wait to get back." And I was watching him real close. I think, okay, yeah, he looks. I mean, obviously he's not like intubated, but he did look like he had a long night or two. You know what I mean?
Well, the coughs were edited out.
Right.
Videographers have.
No,
that's right.
That's what I said. Sicker than he's letting on. It's theater. Just like when he gassed a bunch of protesters so he could hold the Bible in front of the church.
Right.
That was theater. The limousine ride today was theater. That's what this is. And he doesn't want people to realize how sick he actually is. And that's why, like, Joe Biden pulled all of the negative ads. And the Trump campaign is like, no, we're still playing ours. We're still going to attack. That's what it is. So it's just all part of the show.
Right. You're absolutely right. There's no upside to this for him at this point. It's reminding the country of abject failure when it comes to COVID-19. And I mean, at this point in time, their narratives of liberals and leftists destroying cities and Black Lives Matter being a terrorist organization, that narrative they're trying to push forward, they can't do it because everybody's talking about Donald Trump and COVID-19.
Right.
No upside. Well,
Yeah.
Right.
I hate to cut and run.
All of the air out of the room.
I was going to say, I hate to cut and run, Gene. I'm looking forward to talking to you this week. Wanted to make
tomorrow night, 6 o'clock your time, 7 o'clock mine.
That's right.
Google Meet. I will email you or whatever, text you. I will get you the invite link a couple minutes before.
Sounds good. It's going to be fun. Be good meeting
All
you
right. Yeah.
virtually. All right.
Yeah. Warren is the state outreach director for Hometown Action in Auburn, Alabama, which are kind of all over the state, but he's in Auburn. And he didn't want to talk about the football game yesterday with Mitch because Mitch is a Georgia Bulldog fanatic. Mitch loves 5 things in the world, not necessarily in this order. He loves Heather. He loves his kids, both his kids. And he loves Tool. And he loves the Georgia Bulldogs. And I'm not sure. I think the kids definitely might be 1 and 2. Heather's probably in the top 3. But somewhere in there is the Georgia Bulldogs and Tool. And Georgia beat the snot out of Auburn yesterday. So, yeah. And so I come in this world where, we're all like a bunch of progressives and basically corn communists and whatever. But it's football season, man. Like SEC football. When I was in Mississippi pastoring, I had this guy kind of come up to me like, you ain't from around here, are you? Kind of thing. And he kind of questioned if I was truly, I guess, Southern enough to, I don't know, pastor in Mississippi. And I said to him, I said, some people rely on zodiac signs. I said, I know if you tell me 3 things about you, I'll know all about you. He says, what's that? And I said, your denomination, your SEC football team, and your stock car number, your driver number. I'll tell you all about you based on that.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, I'm a Memphis State fan. And I said, are you kidding? That's Southern Miss's biggest rival. It's in Tennessee. You're worried about me being in Mississippi? And by the way, man, it's not an SEC team. So you need to step up to the plate and go big time or go home. And he didn't know what to say to that. So anyways, but enough of him. But yeah, SEC, that's the whole idea. The whole idea of the live stream as I see it is it's kind of like what if Amy Goodman and Paul Feinbaum got together and had a kid. Basically, like Democracy Now! meets the Paul Feinbaum SEC call-in show. And but we won't talk about football now because you don't even like football. What's your sports? Like beer pong
none.
or what? None? You don't have any? What's your hobby?
I used to say Quidditch, but now we're not doing Harry Potter anymore.
Right.
No, for hobbies, I do embroidery and I read a lot. And
What
then
do
I watch a lot of true crime.
Yeah. What are you reading right now?
What do I read? So I just picked up a book, The Turn of the Screw. It's a classic horror novella. I'm
Wasn't
reading that one.
That's Henry Miller.
and-
Not Henry. No, Henry Miller. Oh my God, that's Tropic of Cancer. Henry James. Right? Turn of the Screw.
Yes.
Henry James. Yes, Henry James. Yeah, Henry James was a
Yes.
writer. And Henry Miller was a writer, but they were very different writers. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That one, and then I'm also reading this one, which is about modern relationships and everything else.
That one sounds more interesting,
So-
to be honest.
Yeah.
Turn of the Screw and Sex at Dawn, though. Like you could have, you could probably mesh them into something. Turn of the Screw and Sex at Dawn. I don't know. I'm just saying, but I right now mine wouldn't be as I don't think my books would be as salacious. I'm currently reading a progressive systematic theology written by a friend of mine, Roger Woolsey, who I'm gonna have on the show. He gave me the book a year ago. He actually read it 10 years ago, and I always read his Facebook posts in his Facebook group for it, and never actually read the book. And I think he thinks I read the book, but I hadn't read the book. And I got it a year ago. He gave me a copy, hand signed, and I'm reading it now. And it's actually pretty good as far as systematic theologies go. It's not too boring, because all systematic theologies get kind of. But no, it's a very good book.
Sometimes
And
they
another
do.
one I just got is a series of its liturgy materials, global, like post-colonial. And it's written by a guy named Claudio Carvalhas, who's going to be on the show coming up. And he is a professor at Union Theological Seminary. I knew him. He came to Union to start his doctorate when I started my master's. And he's a really cool guy. And he's one of the craziest people you'll ever meet. And he's like a world-respected post-colonial theologian now, meaning kind of like
Nice.
As one of my profs said one time, the center of the church, contrary to popular belief, is not Dallas, Texas. He says actually would be something more like Lagos, Nigeria. And so that's post-colonial theology in a nutshell. Is that
Yeah,
Jesus?
no, I like that.
Jesus is not white, and Dallas, Texas is not Bethlehem, and whatever. America is not the center of things, and American, that's basically what it amounts to. So, or as they say in
which is nice.
theology, if you want to understand the parable of, say, the rich young ruler or something like that, you're probably better off talking to a group of abuelitas in some village in Guatemala than, say, seeing what like Joel Osteen might have to say about it or something. Go talk to the poor ladies in the village, and they'll let you know what it's about. Yeah, it's all about your perspective, where you're coming from when you read it. Yeah. So, what's your zodiac sign? Since we were talking about that earlier, you don't got a favorite football team.
I'm a Taurus.
You're a Taurus. Does that mean you're full of shit? I mean, bullshit, right? No, kidding.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. My birthday is May 1st, and I'm a Taurus.
Are you a socialist? You're probably a socialist, right? I mean, if you're born on May Day.
I am a socialist. I am a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, and also a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation, also called PSL.
I did not know of that one. I'm thinking about becoming a Democratic Socialist. I was like an independent. I started out a Republican. Like I say, when I was a teenager, you would not have liked me. I was this annoying guy who I wore Jesus t-shirts to school and had my Bible. I had Chick tracts and couldn't get a date, surprisingly. And anyways, I went to a very conservative church. I was a member of the Moral Majority. My first road trip I ever took on my own was to a conservative evangelical rally in Washington, sponsored by the 700 Club. And now,
oh my God.
I kid you not, man. I kid you not. And this is no joke. So now I'm just like a heretic. But so I was a Republican.
Well,
and then I was a Republican when I was in the Army because I figured he'd give me a pay raise, right? Then I became a Democrat for a long time. Then I became an independent. Then I was a Green for a little while, but I can't stand Jill Stein. And then I became a Democrat in 2015 so I could vote for Bernie in the primary. And I stayed a Democrat so I could vote for him again, although I would have voted for Warren this time, but she was already not running, even though she's on the ballot in Florida. So I voted for Joe, and I'm voting for him over Trump, but I'm a long shot from Trump, But I think I'm going to become a Democratic Socialist because I'm an AOC Democrat. I should just become a Democrat. I got friends who are up in Gainesville. They have really good parties and stuff.
It's worth it. And if you were to choose, honestly, DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, they have way more traction than other socialist organizations. So they're really the ones, even though me personally, my views more align with the Party for Socialism and Liberation, PSL.
How are they different?
They're a lot more radical.
They're a lot more what?
So DSA, they're a lot more, PSL is more radical. So they're more tear it down, rebuild it from the ashes, whereas DSA is more along the lines of, we can work with this, we can work here, we can make compromise here. And PSL is big, and so DSA is like, we're going to support these candidates, even though they don't like necessarily represent all of us 100%. PSL is like, Bernie Sanders was the compromise, you guys. That's about as much compromise as you're going to get from us.
All them people out in Hog Valley think PSL are coming to burn down their like shed, right?
Which is so stupid. Like, no. And it's so funny because I was just the other night by PSL about how capitalism has fueled climate change and the fires out in California.
Right.
Fascinating topic. It really goes into the energy consumption and everything else. I actually wound up ordering the book of Climate Solutions Beyond Capitalism, written by one of the speakers for that night. Super looking forward to getting it in the mail. I got to finish Sex at Dawn before that comes in.
What's that about? Is that a novel? Is that
a
nonfiction? What is it? I think I've heard the name, but I don't really know anything about it. Sex at Dawn.
Yeah, it's a
Oh, no, yeah, there
nonfiction.
you
So
go.
what it's about is about human relationships. It's about human relationships, about why we're attracted to the people we're attracted to, why we mate the way that we do, why we are sexually the way that we are, and also the idea of how monogamy is not a natural idea, it's a people's idea.
So are you
It's a
saying monogamy
societal
is
idea.
a social construct?
And
Is monogamy a social construct?
exactly, exactly. So it's monogamy as a social construct rather than a choice that some people can make for themselves. That it's seen as the default that you have to be monogamous and that to be anything else is to be deviant. So it does go into what's called consensual non-monogamy or moral non-monogamy. So like an open relationship and what kind of communication
right.
goes into that.
I guarantee you
So
they're not
it's
talking about open
fascinating. It's
relationships on the Paul Feinbaum show. This is where we got him beat on the SEC call-in stuff. Is that we'll talk about what was that consensual non-monogamy? That's
Yeah,
a phrase I've never
consensual
heard.
non-monogamy.
Open
Yeah,
relationships
so
easier to
basically what
remember.
it means is that you have a primary partnership and your primary partner might have what's called metamors. So let's say my husband had a girlfriend. That girlfriend would be my metamor. She and I are not in a
Metamor?
relationship.
Mhm.
Yeah. So your paramour is your primary partnership.
Right.
And then your primary partner's other partners are your metamors rather
Metamor.
than
As a
paramours.
meta narrative,
Get it?
like the big picture.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. A
Exactly,
metamor.
exactly. So I might not be in a relationship with my husband's girlfriend, and he might not be in a relationship with my girlfriend, but everybody's connected
You
in a
know, no, I'm
consensual
hearing a
way.
blues tune in this. I'm hearing like a blues song. It would go something like, "Hey, baby, she's not my mistress. She's just your metamor." That would be kind of, kind of, yeah. She's, baby, she ain't my mistress.
It would
She's
have
just
to,
your
if
metamor.
it's a real blues song, if it's a real blues song, it has to start off with, I woke up this morning, and then there's a line about a train.
Well, no,
I
I
met
woke up
her
this
on the
morning and
train.
had some CBD gummies. That could be a line. I had more than
Some
that. But
CBD
I
gummies.
think I was just take 2, and I had like 6. I don't know. I know I wanted to go back to sleep, but then
Yeah.
I think Mitch got a hold of me. Somebody got a hold of me. Oh no! A friend of mine called me. We hadn't talked in 2 years. We talked for 2.5 hours about politics, spirituality, just a lot of some personal. Actually, I got a baptism I'm gonna be performing down the road. Not him, but somebody else. I found out,
Okay.
and then a friend of mine, Jet, who I met in Memphis on the road trip. He's a ex-corpsman from the Navy. He's with the Marine unit and is involved in a lot of veterans affairs type stuff. And he's out on a road trip, kind of like mine now. He's in Black Canyon of the Gunnison, and he got a hold of me with some stuff. He's writing some things right now, and he wanted me to see a passage he wrote. Said, what do you think about it? I'm like, I think it's pretty damn good, And then another friend of mine was talking about how she was at something yesterday and she bought a T-shirt. And I was like, that's good. Wear your T-shirt to the next BS march, So now I guess she's going to get involved. And so that's a good thing. But yes, I was doing all that.
Yeah, the shirt. I was going to be super proud of the shirt I was going to wear yesterday.
What is it?
So it says BM and it's done in the style of the Punisher skull. And it's actually created by Gary Conway, the creator of the Punisher, because he hates the Blue Lives Matter crowd co-opting his thing, the Punisher, into their thing. And he's like, first off, Black Lives Matter. Second, Punisher would literally kill you as if you were this kind of cop. Do you not understand what I've ever written over the past, 30 years? So he created this amazing skull fist design. and it's a big fist in the shape of a skull with BLM at the top of it as the knuckles, and it
Cool.
looks
Right
really
on.
cool, and that's what I was gonna wear.
Oh man, you can wear it tomorrow. I mean, wear it Tuesday night. You know, it's a video podcast, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, if you
yeah,
To
yeah.
Tuesday night, I'll read out what I have.
Yeah, it was basically a complete utter miscommunication, it was bull because like it was. I mean, I don't know, it was bull. But I was up all night till 1 a.m,
Yeah.
and then again that next morning, and then actually he sent me a message 10 minutes after it started, going, "Where are the speakers?" I guess he wanted 2 from me. I don't know, man. He never made it clear, but I was just like, the what? And so that's when I wrote him back. But it was a good thing. You know, I was talking about it in my video last night with the BLM march because we were in the same spot downtown just a few hours later. And
Yeah.
a friend of mine was trying to play guitar at the gazebo, and we were like kind of making a lot of noise. I was like, "Hey, Chris, what's up?" And he's kind of looking at me all bad. I don't care. He told me I wasn't good enough to play a gig with him anywhere outside of open mic night at O'Malley's. So I was kind of yeah, whatever. You know, but I mean, I try not to be prideful. But
You
dang,
know,
I
we
ain't
don't
taking
go
that- I ain't
Mally's
taking that comment.
anymore.
That's right. I ain't taking that comment anyways because I do play
Yeah.
a little better than that now. Come on. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But yeah. So I was talking about how like that was kind of like a voting type event, I guess you would say. And we were a little more of an activism type event. And I see people that are into activism say, "Yeah, don't vote," and voters who kind of go, "I don't want to really get involved in that." And I see them as like 2 hands to one body,
Right.
You know, because I see people say voting doesn't work. I'll be honest. I'll tell you what I tell people, and I don't mean just presidential years. I'm talking about years that it's just I don't know. Somebody on the school board and the mayor are up, right?
Right.
That I'll decide if voting actually works when we get at least say a 70% turnout. That would be a 70 would be a C
Right.
in grading. So if we can be that would be average. So if
So
we can get a 70% turnout for a
What
while,
I've-
then I'll see if it works. You
What
know, when you
I've
got like
been
a third of
saying for
people not
years-
voting, who knows? Yeah.
more than that, yeah. But what I've been saying for years is that what we should do as a nation, when you turn 18, you are automatically enrolled to vote as non-party affiliated. You can change that later if you want to. You are
that's a good idea.
automatically mailed. Yeah, you are automatically mailed mail-in ballots that you can opt out of if you want to. Don, can you bring here, please?
Do you think that election day
And
should be a holiday?
that
I
is-
still feel
and-
like restaurant workers would still have to work and all, you know?
And
That's the thing.
yes, and make election day a holiday, because I'll tell you, I've been doing early voting for years because I usually work retail or I'm in a restaurant and I'm
Right, I cook.
and I'm working on election day.
Mhm.
You know,
That or they should have
I
the
need to
polls open
move
at like
to my charger.
for cooks like me, they could have the polls open at like say 1:30 a.m. would be helpful.
Right, having 24-hour polls.
Walking
That would
like
be
this,
something.
you know, totally like a scene out of a Spike Lee movie or an 80s video, walking around with your computer like that. I'm serious.
Well, no, I had to. 'Cause my laptop charger's in the office, and I was in the bedroom, and my laptop is like, "You're gonna die soon," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I did
So you
that.
just
I
got a
did that
little tour
last
of my
night.
house.
Yeah, it's a nice looking house. You're like kind of a Sally homemaker in a way. I know you probably wouldn't think
But
that
yeah,
yourself.
so
but
that's
the stuff you
that's-
bake and you make all that killer vegan food you show on Facebook and you embroider and you're kind of like a postmodern
I
21st
know.
century millennial Sally homemaker in a way, but you do so much more,
I'm
you know?
punk rock Martha Stewart.
Yeah, you could be like Beaver's
Like,
mom.
that's how I see it,
Right? You'd be like June Cleaver, except much, much cooler and with it. You know?
I'm punk rock June Cleaver.
Yeah. Or like, would you say punk rock? We got punk
That's
rock Martha.
hilarious.
But
Yeah,
Martha
I'm
Stewart
punk
is kind of
rock.
punk rock, man. She's hanging out with Snoop Dogg, bro. She smokes weed, man. Like Martha Stewart's punk.
She's hanging out with Snoop Dogg. She's
Punk.
been to jail. She's got
yeah,
cred.
I mean, Martha's punk.
She's got
Yeah,
cred.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I
Martha's
never
punk.
smoked weed with I never
Freddie
smoked
was-
weed with Snoop Dogg, so she's got more credibility than me, I think, you know. I smoked with George Clinton from P-Funk
No,
one.
no.
Yeah, the Music Harvest in Gainesville in
That's pretty
1990.
sweet, actually.
1997, and I didn't even have a backstage pass. Yeah, I was with some friends. And a guy named Ron Plowchuk. He's dead now, but I'm one of the Gainesville poets, man. That's instant cred in Gainesville. And so my friends had a backstage pass. I didn't have it. I said, come on back
Yeah.
in. So we went to the hospitality tent. I'm on like my second rum and coke, and some big dude comes out kind of, you have to go, sir. You don't have a badge. And Ron, who actually was a pediatrician in town, older guy, just turns around and looks at this guy, and Ron was crocked. And he said something like, unhand that man, sir. He is a Gainesville poet, and that is all the identification he needs. And he is with us. And you need to like unhand him, and you need to pay for his next drink. And he did. There were only $1 a drink, but it was this principle of it.
Oh,
So I'm
shit.
looking at this guy like, all righty then. So then we take off from the hospitality tent, and we ended up in De La Soul's tent before they went on. And we ended up smoking a big fatty with them. And then they left to go on stage, and we did a bad thing. We all had the munchies. Like I hadn't eaten hot food in like 3 days or something, except funnel cakes. And
Yeah.
they had just got a bunch of ribs delivered from someplace. And we ate the ribs. It started like, okay, we can't touch them. And then we'll eat one. There was nothing left but like bones and some sauce on
Yeah.
the tray. And then we're like, oh shit, we're trying to get everything off us, so no one knows. And we're like, oh, we got to get out of here, dude.
Yep.
And so then we went over and jumped in this other tent, and it was George Clinton. And he was sitting in like a throne chair, had 2 women, one on each side, and a whisper in his ear like Muhammad Ali before a fight, like, yeah, man, you bad motherfucker. Well, I did. I finally dropped that bomb on live stream. But yeah, you bad man. You bad. And there's about 10 of us in there. We're passing around like a couple of blunts. And what I remember is a couple of my friends at this point, I'm doing pretty good. And they were like, dude, man, just don't be like Wayne's World. Don't be all like, I don't think Wayne's World was out yet. But it was like, don't be all Wayne World. You know what I mean? You got to be
Right.
cool, dude. You're getting high on George Clinton's weed with George Clinton pre-show. Let the ladies whisper to him. Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? We're just like going, whoa. And all I'm trying to think is, do I have any like rib sauce on my breath or, like on my mustache or something, And so he went on stage, but yeah, got baked with George Clinton backstage at the Music Harvest in '97 and didn't even have a backstage pass. And that was
That's
pretty fun.
amazing.
The other time I did that was at Cornerstone
amazing.
Christian Festival in 2009. I was backstage. The keynote speaker was a guy that I actually went to, had some classes with in seminary. He was the guy that opened the Democratic National Convention in prayer. A guy named Gabriel Saguero. I about fell over when I saw that with the convention. I was like, holy crap, Gabe has gone some places. But yeah, he forgot his Bible to preach. So I had mine. I gave it to him. And I was backstage with him and got to meet, who's the guy that used to be in Korn? What's his name? I'm trying to think. Can't think of his name now. He became a Christian. Now he's like a pastor or something. He left the band.
Oh God, they used to call him Monkey.
No, it wasn't. No. As soon as you said it, I mean, no. I can't think of his name now, but I met him. He was cool. He was all right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
think of
no,
his
I
name.
remember who you're talking about.
I keep wanting to say Dimebag Darrell, but
Just
that's a whole
totally
different band. That's a totally different. That's a totally different guy. I'm getting old and I can't remember.
Yeah,
my 80s
totally
at all.
different.
Yeah. I figured you would know though. I mean, you're like punk and
Yeah,
all that. You're like the
Korn
punk
was
Martha
like
Stewart.
for me.
I
tried.
Yeah, I saw. And you cook all vegan? Are you a vegan? You and your husband?
So I'm a vegetarian, which I feel makes me an honest vegan.
But you like cheese,
and I'll
right? You like
explain
cheese?
that.
I saw your comment
love
about you have to have
cheese.
cheese. I had cheese for dinner last night. Like a friend of mine said, they said, what'd you have for dinner? I said, cheese. They go, no, what'd you have? I said, cheese. I did. I ate a bunch of cheese and some mac and cheese.
I love cheese. I would love to give up cheese. It's just so good. So I don't eat a lot of it.
Beware the power of cheese.
Most days for vegan. What's that?
Behold the power of cheese, man. It's like I quit smoking, right? And hopefully I don't get cancer post-haste from it. But I think cheese is what's going to actually kill me. I'm just going to have 1 cube too many cheese and a wine reception, and bam, that artery's just going to shut down.
Yeah.
I got a friend down in St. Pete. I got to introduce you to him sometime. His name's Gregory Roll. We call him G-Dub. He's the unofficial homeless mayor of St. Pete. Long story behind it. But I went to visit him last October, and he wanted to give me a going away gift, so he gave me a whole block of government cheese. And I was like, bro, man, because he's down in the hood. I said, bro, man, like, he goes, no, there's 4 of us here, man. We all got government cheese. He opens up the fridge. There's like a bunch of government cheese in the bottom. So I come home, man, with a block of government cheese. And that's kind of what I ate for like a week and a half. Yeah, I just ate government cheese. I would just come home, like, cut a chunk off, like walk around home Velveeta in my face. Yeah. So
Yep.
what have you? Cheese.
Yep.
Cheese.
No,
Cheese.
I remember getting government cheese back in the 90s.
Yeah. I think my four
You get a
basic
block
food
of it a
groups are burritos, cheesecake, cheese, and IPAs. That would probably be my four groups. Yeah, cheese, burritos, cheesecake, and IPAs. Not at the same time. I cannot do ice cream or cheesecake with a beer. That or yogurt. Dairy and beer is not.
No. Anything dairy with alcohol.
Yeah.
I can't. No,
Yeah.
it's like
I
when
try
people
to-
do White Russians. I cannot drink a White Russian.
Well, I can do
I
those.
cannot
I used to
handle
drink.
dairy and alcohol. Yeah, makes
No, but like, yeah,
upset
I get really baked, man. Like I get really baked. When I was a line cook, I used to go. I had Ben and Jerry's all the time at home, and I get out of work at Harry's and I walk over there to O'Malley's and I drink a few beers and whatnot, and get baked and everything. Go home. And then I had the munchies, so then I eat like a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's at like 2:30 in the morning, and wake up at like 6, just dying because I'd had like drank half a gallon of Guinness, and then I ate like half a pint of half baked, which is my favorite flavor. And then I can't figure out why I have a stomach ache, and I'm feeling very strange cooking on the line the next night. Like I don't know if I need to go run to the John or not, and I'm in the weeds all night because my belly feels like the Michelin Man and the Pillsbury Doughboy got together and made a baby or something. I'm just like, it's bad, man. Which reminds me, those two
it's like, I don't feel terrible.
Yeah.
I'm living on cheese sticks and like overcooked desserts and beer and ice cream. Why do I feel bad?
Well, man, you can be a vegetarian and eat French fries. I knew a woman who was a vegetarian. She lived on French fries. I'm not kidding, man. French fries. We used to get a lot of fast food, and she would always be getting. She told me vegetarian French fries. I'm like, all right.
Yep.
I'd like to be a vegetarian. I tried it a couple times. I would like it, but I like meatloaf too much.
For me, it's easy. For me, like even so, my husband and my 10-year-old both were all vegetarians. So it honestly started because when my daughter she turns 10 at the end of this month. She was 7. We were out eating lunch, and she said, "Mommy, eating animals makes me sad, and I don't want to do it anymore."
Wow.
And I said, "Okay, you don't have to. I'm not going to make you do something that makes you sad." And I kind of realized, because I knew, factory farming and everything that goes into it. I was like, it makes me sad too, and I don't want to do it either. So both of us went vegetarian right there. It's been almost 3 years now.
In the episode we just put up from my road trip when I was in Stanfield, and I had photos of this. I didn't actually do it on the video, and I should have. But there's a cattle yard, big like corporate cattle yards on either side of the town. So whichever way the wind blows, it smells like shit. Yeah. And anyways, this one I was out there and I was getting some photos right up there by all the cows were in the pen, And as I was leaving, and I may have a photo. I don't remember. If I did, it wasn't a good one though. I should have done a close up. There was actually a pile of manure, and it had to be a fair height in the middle of there. I'm sure that's what it was. I don't know what else it could have been. And there was actually a cow on the pile of manure, like grazing, like it was eating shit. And they took all those horror stories. I didn't get a photo. I don't think. I got like 7, 8 photos, but I didn't get that one. But I remember seeing it, and I was just like, oh man. And the other one was driving up the east side, like going north, just inside like the east side of South Dakota, to go up to like I think it was Sioux Falls, and then I cut left, and I went west, boom, all the way out to like Mount Rushmore and all that. But I went past like a slaughterhouse. That's the only thing it could have been. And it was off to the left of the interstate, and I'm guessing it was 1.5 miles away. It could have been 2 miles. And granted, now the wind's coming toward us, from the west, like the prevailing wind. But I had I had like my windows up. I drove a lot with my windows down, but I think I had both my windows up and the AC on, and I could totally smell it. And I knew what it was because back in Ocala, and this is probably before you grew up there, the down kind of by where the railroad tracks of there's 14th and Old Jacksonville Road come together, kind of by the skate park. There was a meat packing
near
plant.
Vanguard High.
Yeah, going up that way. And there was a meat packing plant. It's kind of by Costella's Bakery, Magnolia Bakery, east of it. And so you could smell around there for a couple
Yep.
blocks, like, meat, right? So this was that smell 10 times worse, but not like up the block, like across a cornfield or something. Like I said, it was probably, I
Yep.
think it was like a mile and a half away. And you could smell it like it was in the car. And I was like going, oh my God. I had never actually smelled. It was called an abattoir. Is that it? Is that the fancy name? ABBATOIR,
so.
abattoir or something. Yeah, and you could
Something like
smell
that.
it, man.
I don't
It
know.
reeked because I was like driving, and I'm, it's just like
It's horrible.
nice farmhouses, and it's one of those, I'm just driving, and I'm kind of like, oh, I'm out here in the farmland. This is kind of cool, and everything. And all of a sudden, I smell this. Like, what the hell is that?
Nope.
The only thing I've ever smelled
Yep.
worse was Ground
Everybody
Zero.
wants
Ground Zero smelled worse, but not by much.
Yeah. Everybody wants a stick. Nobody wants to know where it came from.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
wants to know what went into it.
and all I could think was, if it smelled that bad where I was
and
at, what would it smell like being there? You would probably smell like that all the time, but you'd get used to it, and you wouldn't
All
even
the time.
notice. You wouldn't, like, it would sink in your
You-
pores. You know what I mean? You couldn't shower it
it's-
off.
You can't. And it's a lot of migrant farm workers
Right.
who are underpaid, who
Uh-huh.
are,
Well,
we're talking about being paid less than minimum wage in
mhm.
OSHA uncertified facilities because
Right.
they can get away with it. So that's also why I'm a vegetarian as well, is because of the humanitarian aspect of it,
Uh-huh.
as well as the animal side of it, the economic side of it, the ecological side of it. There's also the humanitarian side of like what we're doing, the way that we treat the people who treat our food is so wrong. It's so wrong. So I prefer, because in capitalism, we vote with our dollars. So I would rather vote with my dollars to not support that system.
Y'all hear all
And
this
that's how I do
talking about? Tuesday night, we're gonna still talk about what mental health and like care for the poor and all that kind of stuff, right? Among other things.
Yeah.
See, we're talking
mental
about all
health
this other
for,
stuff. Yeah, like we're almost having a podcast here. You see how B is? This is what B said to me. I don't know if I want to be on your podcast because, like, I mean, what am I going to talk about? Like, I'm just like this person, It's like, you can be on my podcast because you're the punk rock Martha Stewart, man. That's why. But I mean, I got some people be on the podcast that are like kind of maybe more well known, at least say in certain professional circles or whatever. I had like a French healthcare administrator that I did an interview with, who lives in Berlin with her husband, where he's a sociology professor at a university. So that's cool. But at the same time, man, like, but she ain't the punk rock Martha Stewart. So she's cool. Her name's Emily. Like, and she looks like, the character in the movie, Emily, who was French. She's French, and her name's Emily. And
Yeah.
She looks like her a little bit. A lot, actually. I think this guy's married to the movie character. I'm not sure.
It's so funny because I hear so often that I look like somebody, and that's hilarious to me because it's like, I have tattooed myself, I have pierced myself, I have stretched my ears, I've done funny things to my hair. How do I look like anyone else ever?
You sound like what I thought. I told you yesterday, first time I heard you on the phone. I've known B online, like, I don't know, like say 5 years now. And it's like, and you kind of, sometimes you imagine like what someone might sound like. You sounded on the phone exactly like what I thought you'd sound like, which is kind of weird because I figure whenever I meet someone, I'm like trying to imagine what they sound like. I'm never ever close. So I was kind of half expecting you would sound like Nina Simone or something. Hey, how you doing? And because I figured, well, but you actually sound like what I thought you'd sound like. It's kind of weird, But it wouldn't be so bad to Nina Simone either.
Meeting expectations.
Yeah, you're meeting expectations, but yeah. So I'm gonna introduce you as Tuesday night. I'm gonna say, I got the punk rock Martha Stewart on here, because we'll have to talk about your escaping Ocala. You'll come back. You watch. I'm back. I am leaving again, but this is like my mothership.
That's the story.
Sort of. I'm here at the mothership, and then I go somewhere.
I will tell you right now that my leaving Ocala, my exodus it was very dramatic. It was the most dramatic possible because that's
Did you rob a
everything is
bank
with the
or
most
anything?
drama I possibly can.
I knew a guy that left Ocala because he robbed a bank. It was my
No,
bank too. He stole my money, and they caught him at the Georgia line. He was a bouncer at Big Splash when I worked there back in the day.
no, it wasn't.
He actually robbed
No,
the bank.
it
They
was,
called it, I can
it
tell
was
you, he was called
relationship.
he was called the I'm sorry robber. That's what they nicknamed him because apparently, like he comes in. First off, he's just big Bubba dude. Like it's sort of like you put a ski mask on your head, but you weigh like he's a big boy. So like in a lineup, unless they found a lot of
Right.
other really big boys, he would sort of stand out even with a mask on his head. And apparently when he had gambling debts or something, and so when he was robbing the tellers, right, he's like getting the money or whatever, he kept apologizing. He's got a gun. He's got his the whole thing, but he's going, I'm sorry. So they kept on recording him saying, so he's known as the I'm sorry bandit or something like that. And they caught him at the Georgia line.
That's hilarious.
But you did not rob a bank though.
No, I did not rob a bank. No, mine was all it was very much relationship drama. And it ended with me packing everything, my daughter and I, to the bed of a pickup truck and leaving town and never turning back.
Wow.
Like it was dramatic. Yeah.
Did you went to Forest High School, right?
No, I was
You know Vicky
districted
Truitt,
for
you know
Lapeer
Vicky.
High School, but I went.
Yeah.
Yes. So I know Vicky because she went to college with my older brother Jake.
Oh, because I actually
so
met her to
they were
poetry. She's a good
together.
poet. Yeah.
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 That's how I know Robin, and that's how I know Chuck and a bunch of people.
Oh.
But I went to Westport High School for the arts program.
Oh, yeah.
And
Theater
then
and
I
all
went
that
to
over
Lake
there.
Weir High School for my junior year, and I dropped out. Yeah, I was a theater kid.
Oh.
Who would have guessed?
I would never guess. I thought you were going to major in accounting. I would have picked you as an accountant or something. You know, maybe a tax lawyer. Maybe a hedge fund manager.
Right.
I don't know, you know. Something maybe, I don't know, Mitch McConnell's
Yeah.
like assistant. I have no idea. Martha Stewart's assistant.
So
maybe.
funny because if you had ever met my parents, you would have never guessed that they were related to me in any way. So I come from a mixed faith household. My father's Jewish, my mother's a Methodist, but both are incredibly conservative. Like my mom registered Republican on her 18th birthday, voted for Reagan, both Bushes twice, voted, was happy to vote for Romney. That kind of Republican. My father voted for Ross Perot. And Ross Perot is the main one, and he's a supporter now. So
I remember
raised in
Perot.
this super yeah. Okay, but so I was raised in this super conservative household with very conservative values, and it was very Old Testament because my father being Jewish and then my mother being a Methodist, it was very Old Testament fire and brimstone kind of God. So like me coming out as queer was you should pray on it because you're going to hell.
How
me
old
trying
were
to
you
talk
then?
to my mom about I was 15 when I came out. So yeah, so that was it was a big deal. So I had to tease my mom that she messed real bad because she wound up raising 3 atheist progressives in a super
I gotta
religious
apologize about
conservative
something. I gotta apologize about something. I don't know if I did. If I did, I didn't. I just thought now is your pronouns are they and them, and I may have slipped a she in there, and I apologize if I did because I'm just talking and it suddenly occurred to me. I pictured your Facebook profile page in my mind right as you were speaking. I was like, oh yeah, because I get like I want to be right about that, and I this probably sounds lame if I had someone tell me this, but I've had other people tell me not so much. Is that I'm getting to that age now where it's like I have to remember like that things have changed. It's finally catching up to me, I guess, because I've never really been like that before. But I have to remember that they, they're them. So I just want to say if I didn't do that earlier, I apologize. No,
it's fine. I was gonna correct you later. I was gonna call you out on it publicly on your show.
no, I just wasn't thinking,
but
and I forgot. I forgot your profile. I apologize. So
okay, no, and that's
don't
been
come up
another
here and
thing
beat my ass.
recently. No, no, no. I've been out as a non-binary trans person for at least 5 or 6 years now, and I know everything else. And my mom still uses my old dead name, and she's like, "Why
Oh
do you go
man.
by B?" And I was like, "Well, it's not my fault that you suck at naming me."
Now, did you when you
So
I couldn't help but notice, being as I'm older. I was thinking of, and I don't think of
yeah,
her as Golden Girls, but as Maud. That was B. Arthur, but isn't it
yes,
BEA was her name?
yes.
Am I
Her name
correct
was
on that?
BEA.
Right.
Mine is EE because of bees. Literally, that's the reason. I really like bees a lot. And then before I got married, my name was November. And when I got married, I took my husband's name because I didn't want my father's last name anymore. So that's how I became B. Arthur.
Oh,
It
but
just kind of
you're
worked
saying
out that way.
your maiden name was November, or your given? Like I 'cause I
My
was gonna say,
maiden name. Yeah,
oh,
my
I thought you said you got named after a Guns N' Roses song or something. Because you'd be about the right age range for that, maybe. So I just wanted to know.
no. My mom picked my original birth name is Rebecca
Right. That's what I thought.
because
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
be a yep, I was supposed to be a boy named Gabriel, but I came out wrong. So she
Oh,
picked a random name from the Bible. Yeah.
my
So
yeah.
yeah, so my brothers and I, we're all biblical names. It's Jacob, Rebecca, and Aaron.
Nah. So whenever I see your name on Facebook, I think of Maud. So I remember I sent you that little thing on Messenger
Which is
yesterday. I came up somewhere.
which
I
is
was like,
great.
oh, I
Yeah,
sent that to 2 people. You were one of them. There were two
which
people
is
I knew that
great.
said they got it. I knew
I
you
love
and the other
Golden
person would love
Girls.
it, so I sent them out. Golden Girls was pretty good. I liked it some. It was
Yeah,
all
no, I
right.
love Golden
I
Girls.
won't lie. I was all about Blanche. Well, not so much then, man. I was like, I'm a well woman. But now I'm an older guy, and I'm thinking like, okay, Blanche. Okay, Blanche would be all right to go out for a date with. She'd be entertaining at least. I mean, But
Right.
Blanche Dubois. But the whole Southern thing would drive me up the wall after a while. I think. I don't know. Right now, I'm getting the image of Blanche
Yeah.
Dubois hooking up with who's the guy in Hank Hill? Who's the one, the bald, the guy with the ring haircut? And he's supposed to have
Oh,
money
Bill.
with Bill. Yeah, he's actually
Bill
landed gentry and
Dauterian.
right. Somehow I'm picturing Blanche Dubois and Bill like dating or something. That would be, I don't know, because remember he's supposed to be landed gentry in like Louisiana or something. They find out and they went to visit. He was all the Daughtry clan or something like
Very
that.
handsome.
Yeah. I'm reaching
Which
at
reminds me,
straws.
somebody brought up there was a conversation on Reddit of would Hank Hill vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I've seen that.
And some people were, which I'm on the firm no, he wouldn't, for 2 reasons. Number 1, Donald Trump is from New York.
Right.
Number 2, Donald Trump orders his steak well done. Hank Hill would not vote for Donald Trump.
That's true. I think Boomhauer.
Right
Boomhauer. What do you think? Boomhauer would vote for Trump, or do you think he'd be more? You think he's actually like a closet Democrat? Because Boomhauer's a pretty cool guy.
I think Boomhauer's a closet Democrat. Dale Gribble would vote.
Oh, Dale's in QAnon. He's a QAnon dude all the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and Daughtry would probably.
They believe the silliest things, like QAnon. It reminds me a lot of my father, because my father used to, I don't know if he still does, but at least used to believe a lot of those crazy conspiracy theories, like that we didn't actually land on the moon, like that level of conspiracy theory.
Wow.
So I can just imagine him. But it's so funny because the same man who believes that we were not capable of landing on the moon simultaneously believes that aliens have visited us and our government has actively covered it up and our government has taken their technology.
Well,
believes these things at the same time.
I hadn't really thought of this till I saw an article about it. I think it was on medium.com a couple weeks ago. And this guy was writing, and he was talking about how the basic QAnon thing about drinking baby's blood and all this stuff, that it all lines up with the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which is, of course, one of the most vicious anti-Semite books ever written. And I actually had a copy of it. I came across a copy of it in a bookstore somewhere, so I read it. And so I'm not like an expert on it, but I did read it like maybe 12, 13 years ago. And so in the article, when he mentioned it, I remembered enough of it to say, yeah, he's right. So I just see QAnon as like, I don't know if I'm not saying it's directly anti-Semitic. I haven't looked into it enough, but it's almost like they took the template of the whole, Jews are bad people, and they just took that and just lifted it and put it on QAnon, and now it's just whatever the deep state,
Right.
or whatever it is.
So
I can remember in my church they talk about the Rothschilds.
They lifted the template, and there is some anti-Semitism in there, kind of. It's just very thinly veiled. So you'll hear the term global Marxism.
Right. Yeah.
That's a term for the Jews.
Right.
It's kind of fascinating. And when I was still in contact with my father, and he would go off on this, and I'm like, dude, you're Jewish. What are you talking about?
Right. That's what made me think that a Jewish person would subscribe to QAnon is really sad and confusing, I guess, equally.
He's a fascinating, confusing individual. And if you haven't run into him out and about in Ocala, I'd be shocked. Honestly. Because he's a character. You'd know him.
Maybe have
know him. And especially after learning my previous last name is November, there's only just so many Novembers in the world.
I know. I'm trying to think if I know any. I don't know. Does he hang out in O'Malley's?
He's about No. He goes to Mishkan, the Messianic synagogue.
Oh, yeah, out here. It's not far from where I live. Yeah. They drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Oh man, I know someone who was going there, and they kept talking about my rabbi says, and actually I knew a couple, Dr. J and a couple other rabbis and cantors here, and had trained. The cool thing about Union Seminary is it's really weird because there's a deli there called the Olive Tree Deli right across the street from the front door, basically, and right down the street is Jewish Theological Seminary, which is the biggest Jewish theological seminary, I think, in the world outside of Jerusalem or something. I mean, it's the biggest one in the Western Hemisphere, I think. Major school. It's just like a block down the road, basically, and across the street on Broadway. So you got Union Seminary right there.
Yep.
And then the guys that owned Olive Tree, they were Lebanese, if I remember right, and they were Muslim. And you'd be waiting in line at lunch. I used to go in and get a salad or a meatloaf sandwich, and you've got professors from the Jewish seminary and professors from Union, students and whatever. And then the Muslim guys, are behind the counter, and they're doing the thing, running the store. And there was this one Jewish professor used to come in, and he was learning Arabic, modern Arabic, from one of the clerks or one of the managers or the owner, whoever it was. And so if you were in line behind him, it would take a little longer to get through the line, but you could always learn like an Arabic word, and they're less, And I was there with one of my professors one day waiting in line. He said, man, he said, yeah, it's called the Olive Tree. And he said, man, if the whole world was like this deli and where it's located with these schools and all, we'd have world peace. We'd all just sort of be. He had halal. He had he had halal food. He had kosher food. He had and he had just regular old meatloaf sandwiches, right? And so it was just we had world peace going. If Jerusalem were the Olive Tree Deli, we'd all be getting along. And what really gets weird is I was invited to the University of South Florida. It was about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something. It was the anniversary for 9/11 that the Muslim Student Union, I guess it is, does down there every year. And Malik Fakuri asked me to come down. She was a student there then, and kind of be the Christian rep. I got to represent Christianity. I'm sure that Jerry Falwell, he's probably out with the pool boy. So, but yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people didn't want me to be a representative for anything, but I represented Christianity. And that's when I met Hassan Shibli, who's the executive director. It is funny when you think about it. But Hassan Shibli, who's the director of CARE, in Florida, and all these people, and a lot of really great Muslim folks. But I was talking about the Olive Tree Deli. I got, 5 minutes to speak or something. I'm talking about the Olive Tree Deli. And there's a guy there, and he comes up to me afterwards, kind of young guy. I think he was a student. His name's Homam Zatuni. Homam and I are now friends on Facebook. I think it was Homam that tells me, dude, you talking about the Olive Tree Deli, 121st and Broadway? I go, yeah. He's like, dude, my cousin owns that place. And I'm just like, whoa. Hey, wait a minute. I'm talking, okay, there's only like 50,000 delicatessens in New York City. I'm talking about the delicatessen
Right.
that your cousin owns. And we're not even in New York. Like I'm in Tampa speaking at the University of South Florida at this thing. And you're telling me that your cousin's like with the dude that owns the place I'm talking about. And the speech goes, yeah, man. I was like, you talk about a small world.
Small world.
Yeah, I was really
Yeah.
weird. I was like blown away. I was like, holy cow. But yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yesterday was really good. You probably, I don't know, man. There was a lot of Bible in some. This one guy, man. He was cool, but I just sort of want to say, like, yeah, if you're gonna, I don't know, this is gonna sound really redneck, but if you're gonna come down from up north and be in town for like 2 hours to talk, and you got to start every one of your things by, hi, I'm really not from here. I'm from Michigan.
Right.
And by the way, evangelicals don't listen to you just because you quote a lot of scripture. You know, it was a good thing. It was a good thing. It was a good thing, but I would have done it a little different. But
right,
but it wasn't my thing, right?
You have to show that you know the locals.
Can you talk to the?
You know, it's like mine. Mine, you know, I started off saying, you know, hi, my name's B. My pronouns are they, them. I am from Ocala, born and raised, and it's true. I was born at Monroe Regional Medical Center, and so was my daughter.
It's taken me forever to figure out. People will say, "Oh, I need you to come to the hospital. It's at Advent," and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And then I remember, "Oh, you mean Monroe?" And it's taken me. I don't know how long. How long has it been Advent? I don't even know. I just figured it out like last week.
I didn't even know it had changed names.
Yeah, I guess it's been Advent now for a few years.
I left Ocala in late 2011, and I haven't been back for any significant amount of time.
I came back in late 2000. You left the same time. You went down to the Bay Area the same time I came up from the Bay Area. I was in St. Pete in 2011. And I've been here now going on 10 years. It's the longest I've lived here. Yeah. I lived here from like 9 to 19.
It's a rough place to live.
Ocala?
You know, it's a rough place. Well, because people are like, oh, it's so pretty, like to drive through. You don't want to live there. There's unemployment and OxyContin addiction. Like that's what's there.
Yeah, we got the pill doctor right there on the boulevard. Advertising Suboxone, right? Suboxone weight loss, you know. Basically he's the guy that got my ex-wife addicted to Suboxone. I kind of want to go in there and strangle him, but I know it's illegal, so I don't. But I found out, she had some issues. She got addicted through a doctor, and was dealing with it. And unfortunately, she died, while she was undergoing all that. But I kind of want to see that guy somewhere. I want to run into him to Loritos, and it'd be like the car hitting the wall, except with him hitting the wall. Kind of is how I feel, because I really hate. I don't like pill doctors. I can't stand those places.
No.
I have friends. I've had several friends that have become addicted to places like that.
Yeah, it's super easy. I mean, like I say this as somebody who got my pot card, and I have my little vape pen full of THC and everything, but there's a difference between marijuana and opioids.
Do you mean marijuana's not the devil?
There.
Marijuana's not the devil?
Yeah, marijuana is not the devil. It is not the devil. It helps me sleep. It is not the devil.
Yeah, I need to get me a pot card.
The devil wouldn't want me to sleep. Yeah. Oh, it's more expensive than it's about it's going to cost you around $300.
Is that to get the card and everything? What's that? Where does a quarter go? What's a quarter go if some good indica? You can't get flour though, can you? You can only get oil here, right?
You can buy flour. I don't because I don't like smoking. I like vaping and I like edibles.
Yeah, I prefer edibles to vaping. I want to get away from smoke.
Yeah, I can buy a cartridge for my vape for about $70, and that lasts me a long time.
$70 is that a half gram cartridge?
Yeah,
that's the same as an eighth of weed for me at least. I am like actually that would be theoretical for me.
Yeah,
I don't have a pot card, but so $70 for an eighth. I know it's pretty good stuff.
If I take 3 little puffs on my vape pen, I'm good. I'm
If I take-
fine.
if I
I
take
can go
3
to sleep. I
puffs of a-
can do what I need to
Yeah.
do.
If I take 3 puffs off a vape pen
Yeah.
and it's all like say indica, I'm probably not going to get out of bed. I'm just going to, I don't want to clean the house. I want to like stare at a wall pretty much.
See, that's
I'm
what
an indica guy.
sativa is for. Sativa is for daytime. I need to get things done. It's for
Right. I don't ever want to
nighttime.
get things, but I don't want to get things done. I just want to be baked. I'm
Yeah.
I went into a dispensary in
See, I'm
Leadville,
not
Colorado. They congratulated me on being like, they said, "Oh, you're an old time stoner, man. We don't get guys like you very often." And I was like, "Really?" They go, "No, man. We get all these people that come in and they're getting in. They don't really even know what they're getting. I'm the guy. I just walk in and go, just show me what you got, man. I want some straight up indica. What's your prices, man? What do you got on sale today? You got a candy on
Right.
sale? Sounds, that's, that's how I am. I climbed Mount Elbert on 2 Monsters and 2 Gumi edibles. And 2 Cliff bars on the way down. Yeah, I just got baked on some edibles and climbed a mountain.
Last week I had half an edible and I was so giggly and I hadn't been that stoned in so long. And it was such a nice feeling because it's like, because I normally take it for medicinal purposes. I don't get high. I'm just taking it to sleep or to help with anxiety, etc. So to eat half a gummy or a gumi and get fucking baked was amazing for me.
Yeah, I went out to I was in Denver coming home from the eclipse up in Wyoming a few summers ago, and saw a friend of mine actually from Ocala, who's moving back, not to Ocala though, thank God. She knows better than that, but she's
Good
moving
for
to
her.
coast.
Good
Yeah,
for her.
she's
Yeah.
smart. But yeah, so she had a bunch of medical, and she said to me, she said, "Have you had an edible the whole time?" I said, "No, I forgot to buy any edibles." So she had this Gumi cube something, and it was like 300 or 30, whatever, 30 milligrams, 300 milligrams, whatever. So it's, it's a lot. And
Yeah.
30, I guess. And so
It's a lot.
just to cut it into thirds or something. And her old man, like they were engaged at the time. They're married now. He hadn't met me like ever, right? We'd been in the house like 10 minutes, right? And he says to her, he said, "I don't know, man. I just met your friend, like real life, but I've known him 10 minutes. Just give him the whole thing. I think he's gonna be fine." And then I smoke. And so like we're outside on the patio talking, the 4 of us, about just stuff, hanging out. And like an hour goes by.
Yeah.
She looks over at me like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, man. Pass the blunt." And she kept she's like, "You should be like on the ground now, man. Like you should." And he's just like, "I don't know, but I think your
Right.
friend's like a total head." But yeah, it was great. And he's like an atheist. And we got in a big discussion about like theism and stuff. And she was all worried that like, he gets annoyed when people talk to him about God. And I wasn't proselytizing at him. It was more like he wanted to talk. And we're getting into quark theory and all, man, like we're really getting deep. And he goes, "No, I really like listening to this guy. He's the only guy I've ever heard talk about God that's not pissing me off. And he's following me on." We're talking about Ken Wilber and integral theory and 11 dimensions and how it relates to
that's
Trinity.
awesome.
And well, I guess that edible hit me. I don't know, man, but it was a good conversation. I love talking with people like him about God. Most Christians piss me off talking about God. I'd rather talk with like some stoner atheist who's into 11 dimensions or something like that. Preferably if the Grateful Dead's playing or maybe some Tool.
Well, yeah.
Hey, I'm getting ready to wind
I'll
this up.
happily talk about God and Jesus any day.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
I got things I got to do. I got to put my kid to bed.
Yeah, I went ahead and went 2 hours, and probably Doris wants to kill me now because I'm already running 15 minutes over. So I start 15 minutes late, and I just want to say, this is B. Arthur right here, not the one who died a few years ago. This is a different one. She's still alive. They are still alive. I'm sorry, I got it right. They are still alive.
Thank you.
I did it correctly, right?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Forgive me. Yes. I got it right. They are still alive.
You got it right.
B is not that other B. Arthur. And B and I are going to talk Tuesday night. And maybe you'll see it Tuesday night. Maybe you'll see it Wednesday. About what are we going to talk about? Like mental health and especially access to poor people. Like when I was going to the centers.
Yeah.
And
mental health and access for the under and uninsured. What happens during a Baker Act. And also probably my exodus from Ocala.
The Exodus from Ocala. And so just so y'all know, Tuesday night on the Rucksack Revolution podcast, it's going to be B. Arthur, the one that's still alive, and who is the punk rock Martha Stewart, at least of the Western Hemisphere, or at least of Tampa, or at least of this show right now, because I sure am not. And so I'm going to say, hey, bye. And I'm just going to say, I got some sponsors, Dave's Delicious Delights. I'm going to come get that cheesecake, bro, up in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. And Hometown Action with Warren Tidwell. We're going to be talking tomorrow night, me and Warren. He is not the punk rock Martha Stewart, but he's probably the coolest dude in Auburn, Alabama. And he definitely is the coolest dude. He's the guy on my road trip when I went to Selma and Montgomery and we walked on the Edmund Pettus Bridge and all that. Warren is the guy that was on here with us. Warren is the guy I was with that day on my road trip.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. He's a really great guy. And he spent a year in Ghana with witches. Well, people that were accused of being witches. It's like in Ghana, like if you're accused of being a witch, they'll throw you out of your village. We're not talking like in Accra. We're talking like way up country.
Right.
And he was with some organization. This is a few years ago. He spent a year, and they basically these women that get thrown out have formed like their own community or a series of communities, and they're like in the outback of Ghana. And so they are like a human rights and aid and education nonprofit or something. He'll be telling me more about it. But yeah, he spent a year with like these outcast women who live in a village like just way out in the middle of nowhere in Ghana. Like he's an amazing person. You wouldn't believe looking at him.
That's
he did
awesome.
that, but he did. Yeah, it's really cool. And so now he'll be on tomorrow night. You're on the next night. And so we got Hometown Action and Dave's Delicious Delights, and also Scarlett Kofer Art. And do you know Scarlett Kofer? She's a friend of mine on Facebook, and I'm going to introduce you to her because I think the two of you will like really hit it off. I mean, I know you would. She's amazing.
Maybe.
So I will do that immediately here now, and I'm going to go ahead and shut this off.
Thanks for letting
And
me
I think
talk.
I'm going to go find a couple croissants in the kitchen that I think are sitting out, and put some peanut butter on them. Peanut butter and croissants. Isn't that how it's done in France?
All right.
You're Martha Stewart. You should know.
Totally.
Okay, we're out of here then.
Yeah, that's
All
exactly
right.
how it's done in France.
Talk to you on Tuesday, B. Bye.
Yes. Bye.